Okay. How many today? 12. Okay. Like people maybe thought like we're doing networking stuff. So it is kind of IT completely. But it is not just IT people who are interested in networking, but also like all the DevOps guys who are all into application programming. I believe for them also networking concept is very important to learn. So that's why I said it is important because nowadays, even if developers do write code for the infrastructure, right? The DevOps coding, if you think they write so that how the application will be deployed, right? So where it will be, which network, which port, all these things can be, even if application programmer need to know. At the same time, the engineers, the administrators who used to think that, okay, I don't need to know development, they kind of now, in fact, pressurize to know somewhat like programming, whether it is shell script or infrastructure coding, or even if sometimes application, at least how to build, right? So those are all some of the things, cross-cultural knowledge is emerging, and obviously that is what we call DevOps. So that ultimately I'm taking this session toward DevOps finally. Hi Raj, thanks for joining.
Sorry for the late one, Seshu.
Yep. So that's why we need to understand this. What is the networking, and okay, why Raj's page is coming? Why not my page? Okay, good. So without much delay now, we already discussed about VPC last time, right? So let's see what it is. And we already, I shared my, let me share my screen first. Okay, so this is what is we shared last time. We discussed about it briefly, but I'm sure all of you you know somebody else. Nobody's waiting, right?
No.
Madhu joined. Are you there, Madhu? Because
yes, Nayakji, I'm here.
okay,
Yeah.
because you asked 7:30. So okay, great.
Yeah.
So this is what we discussed. Like VPC is nothing but a logical isolated network inside the cloud. So what does that mean is VPC, virtual private cloud. So inside the public cloud, we have something private. And what it is, the first line says that it is an isolated network inside the public cloud. That means once you create that VPC or the networking, nobody else can enter to your zone or your set of network, set of instances. Nobody else can access unless you give the approval, right? So that's what is the VPC. And you can create your own network like CIDR. What is CIDR is like you can create your own network IP addresses which is suitable to you. Sometimes you want your VPC to be connected to your corporate network, and you want that instead of creating more number of network functions inside your own corporate, you want to extend your networking to the public cloud. So by which you can have more number of instances created on the cloud, which is part of your own network, part of your own corporate network. So that's what is the use of VPC. So we'll see that today. We'll slowly go towards that. It will not be that easy just to create an extended network for your corporate, but eventually will lead to that. But just to start with, I think this is what we're going to discuss today. Let me quickly go. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, Mike.
Okay. So this is what is the final network we'll be creating. Okay. So if you see here, we have on left side the public internet, which will be connected to your VPC, and the right side is enterprise corporate data center network, right? And so that if your corporate network want to access the VPC, okay, so that's the route it has to take through a virtual private cloud gateway. And from the internet, if you want to access your VPC, it will be routed through the internet gateway. Okay, so that's a whole concept, but let me come back to this picture. Okay, this architecture here. So if you see here, down AWS region, right? So for instance, or for example, I have taken AWS East 2, okay? So you, depends on your region, if you log in, you will find that you have been logged into a particular region. Either AWS East 1, who are all in users in your area. I'm by default AWS East 2, the Ohio region. So inside one region, if you create a VPC, it will be to that specific to that region only. The VPC does not span across regions. So if you are creating a VPC, that will be specific to your own region, okay? And if you just change your region, that VPC will not be like visible to you, okay? So, but inside VPC can be spanned across availability zones. That means inside your one VPC, you can have multiple availability zones. And what is the availability zone? I'll speak that when we talk about high availability. But for the time being, understand that availability zone is something separate, again, a physical data center. Sometimes it is a physical data center, which is situated inside one region, and they are connected to physical data center connected by a high-speed network, so that each instance can fall back to another availability zone network. So there will be absolutely no delay, in fact, very negligible delay between one availability zone and another. That means the network pipe is huge, and there are absolutely very little latency between multiple availability zones. But they are situated inside one region. So one region normally can have multiple availability zones. Sometimes they are termed as like A, B, C, or sometimes D, also like 4 availability zones. But normally we see 3 availability zones. So if you go, your AWS East is one region. If you see 1A, 1B, 1C, so on and so forth. So those are all nothing but availability zones. So AWS East 1A is one availability zone, AWS East 1B is another, and AWS East 1C is another. Similarly, 2A, 2B, 2C. Okay, so these are all availability zones. We'll talk more about when we talk about the load balancers, elastic load balancer, that I'll give at that time. We'll create actually multiple availability zones also. So, but for the time being, we'll talk about only one availability zone today, because we don't have much time. So we'll stick to one availability zone today, and that's my next slide. So if you see here, okay, before going forward, I would like to show that this is what we want to achieve today, okay? Rather this one. We want to achieve today the left side, that is the one availability zone network, and we'll connect that, we'll create a VPC, we'll have internet gateway, we'll have route table, network backup, security group, and some instances. We'll have private subnet, we'll have public subnet, and we'll see that we are able to connect to them. So this is what we have to achieve today. We will not achieve today these things. This will not be achieved today, but rather this one, okay? And as we go on, we'll ultimately achieve the final slide, which I showed in the first, okay? So going directly to hands-on, because this is again a hands-on session, and we less theory. I leave it to you to understand the theory part. So let's create the, okay. So here it is. I have connected to my account on AWS, right? So here, I expect you to, I am sure everybody, you have your own account now. And whichever reason you are connected, you see mine is Ohio by default. I can change anything, Virginia or Ohio. But if you are, your default, when you created your account, you can see which one is your default. And in fact, there is a VPC ID by default. If you go to your, okay, I hope you logged in now. So slowly I'll take, okay? Let's go one by one. So now go to your services, and I expect you to log into your IAM account rather than the root account, because I don't want, you should have a habit of connecting directly to your root account, because I don't want it should be any mistakes should be done in that, because anything, if you do any wrong with your existing VPC, you will not be able to access, in fact, anything, because you are a free user. In fact, the support, then you have to call to your support, AWS support, to recreate your VPC, because you cannot able to log in. Once your VPC is corrupted due to anything, if you make changes to your existing VPC, you will not be able to connect. Remember it. It's a caution I'm giving. It's a you should take it seriously, because anything, my existing VPC, which is this one by default VPC, if I make any changes to it and I make some mistake, simple, I'll not be able to connect to my account at all, because that's the important thing. Okay, so don't, again, I'll make it slow. Don't change anything to your existing VPC. Okay, it's a kind of a lot, or I'm repeating again. Don't change anything to your existing VPC, and maybe just note it down, the VPC ID, and don't change anything. Okay. And it is safe if you, maybe my VPC, if you see my default VPC is here in the North Virginia region. So I think when I created this account, I was in New Jersey actually. So that's why they have allotted me the default VPC to North Virginia. So it is good and safe if you change your region to another region. It is safe. So I will expect if you can change your region, please, so that you will not play anything with your existing VPC. Okay? Because existing VPC is default VPC to your particular region. So can you do that, please? Can you change your region? Maybe if you are in Eastern region, change it to other one. If you are in Ohio, change it to Virginia. If you're in Virginia, change it to Ohio. So that you see here, after then go to services and go to network and content delivery. Go to services, go down, and here networking and content delivery, create, and there is something called VPC here. Click it. And you see there is 0 here. That means in this region I don't have any VPC assigned to me. Okay. Do you see that? No VPC is there in your region, current region. That is there where you should start. Okay. Now let's create a VPC. I'll not use the VPC wizard. If you are doing that, I'll discourage you to do that, because then you will not learn anything, because it will take care of everything. Okay. I discourage you to use this launch VPC wizard. Okay. Because it will do everything for you. Then your learning will not be done. You cannot learn. So what I'll do is we'll create manually. Okay. So go to left side, your VPCs, click. Okay. Your VPCs, and here you see there is a create VPC, and here only you click. Not, this is not a wizard. You you are creating a VPC. So please do that.
Hey, Panchaleshwar, sorry. When I clicked on your VPC, I already see one already being created.
That's the default VPC. Don't do that. That's why I repeatedly say change your reason.
Okay, sorry.
Panchaleshwar, I changed 4 reasons, and in 4 reasons I can see there is a VPC assigned for my ID.
Four
Yeah,
reasons? What do you mean by 4 reasons? I didn't know.
the same thing.
I tried changing all 4 reasons, and all 4 reasons I can see a VPC is assigned to my ID.
Yes,
All
I see the same.
You have one VPC assigned? Okay, so
No.
I don't have anything in.
No, in Ohio, North Virginia, everywhere it is there for me.
Are you root user?
No, normal user only, Panchaleshwar.
I am user.
Okay, so possibly then maybe I have deleted it because I have one VPC assigned to me and I deleted. That's fine. Okay, so don't delete it, by the way. So don't delete whatever existing one. Okay.
Okay.
But then just go to your VPCs, okay, and just create a new one. And if you are in this page, create a VPC page. Are you?
Yeah, Panchaleshwar.
Okay. So I just want to see who are all joined. Okay. Good. Create VPC, please click. Okay.
Okay.
Then just name it something, whatever you want. I'll name it BOC, Big Open Cloud VPC. Okay. You just name something, your name maybe. Okay. And there is something called CIDR here. And if you just click the range, this IPv4 address range, okay? And the maximum you can create is /16. This is a networking concept. This is my scope is not actually teaching what is networking. So the scope of this session is not that. So I'll tell that it is just do is 10.0.0.0/16. Okay. So this is the CIDR maximum you can create on AWS. That means the number of IP addresses you can create is limited to the net mask or prefix /16. Okay. And so if you are not if you're not exposed to networking, don't worry about it also. Just understand this and don't try to understand it. It is a huge thing. Okay. So tenancy, don't change it. If you put dedicated, it is a very costly service. Don't put dedicated. It means it will be only assigned to you. They'll charge huge. Okay. So don't do it. Default. That means you are sharing. Okay. And here create. Why I named it, I just created it. That means all my IP addresses would be actually in this network 10.0.0.0. Okay. And I created no IPv6. You can do it, but I preferred no IPv6. You can do show, create. Okay. This is created now. But okay, you see the default. Once you create, you will see that in my case, because just for this demo, I possibly deleted my default VPC. You can let it be there. And you see that a new VPC, what is named, whatever you have given is created. And you see here, CIDR is 10.0.0.0/16. Okay. And you can see here various details. What are the things it is created? You see here, if you go, it has got IP address CIDR, and there is a main route table created. There is a main NACL, it is called NACL, Network Access Control List. Okay, it is created. And what else created? Default VPC owner is there, and so on and so forth, right? So if you go here, let's see, go one by one. What is by default created when you create a VPC? Subnets, no subnets created. Route table, yes, there is a route table created. Internet gateways? No. Anything else? NACL? Yes, there is a NACL created. Security group? Yes, there is a security group created. So,
Hey, Panchalesh, sorry to interrupt you. Here, when I see under the subnets, I see 3 of the subnets created.
it's by
But
default,
this-
by
by de-
default, when you are already, okay.
But it shows a different IP. It doesn't start with the 100.
Yeah,
It starts with 17.
No, that's right. So because you have a default VPC already existing, okay?
Mhm.
Overall, those subnets are assigned to those VPC. It is a different network, okay?
Okay, okay, got it.
So if you see here, you can check when you go to subnet, once you create, you see that which VPC they will be assigned to. Each have VPC ID. If you see here, those subnets will be having a different VPC ID. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So each VPC, like you can have multiple VPCs, and each subnet will be specific to a VPC. Okay, as we saw the picture here, each VPC will have their own network. Okay, so it's quite possible that it may have share the same network IP also, but they are logically different. Okay.
Okay.
So now I want to just check it here. When we created, actually we saw this one is created. Just this one, a VPC logical boundary with, we saw that route table created, NACL created, security group created, and some route table also created. So let's see the route table is created or not. You see there is a route table also created. Route table. So this may be if you are going to write exam or something, what are the things created? NACL created, route table created, security group created by default whenever you create a VPC. But this is not connected to internet. You see that if you go here, you saw there is no way internet and router is connected. Okay, it is simple. A skeleton has been created for you. Okay, now let's go back. Now for that, what we need, again, I'll go step by step so that you understand. To create this one, the second step, I will need a network gateway so that my public internet and the router is connected. So this is important for connecting my internet and my route table. So let's do that. Okay, so let's go to internet gateway and create internet gateway. I call it again my BOC internet gateway, IGW. Okay, create. Okay, so whatever name you can give, and I create an internet gateway, but it is again just created. It is not attached to anything. It is some floating internet gateway just created. You see here state is detached. Okay, so being selected, it is select the particular one. You may have already existing internet gateway, okay, because you have an existing VPC. So select the one which you created. Deselect the other one. Okay, select the one which you created and go to action, attach to the VPC.
Sorry to interrupt. I was having an issue with this IAM account, so I just solved it back. Can we little step back to from the create VPC page for a quick 1 minute recap?
Okay, I have to finish for this, but I'll do quickly. Okay, so create your VPC. Okay, your VPC, then go to create VPC and give a name here. And CIDR you can give 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, and all others just keep default and just click create. That's all. Okay. Then we are in that next page only. We're in the next stage. That's all. We have done that, and we created an internet gateway only just now. I can delete it and create it again. Delete the internet gateway. I just
actually 10.0. I just tried. It is giving that you're not authorized to perform.
10.0.0.0/16.
16. Yeah, yeah. That's the CIDR I have given.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, I cannot see your page, so I cannot now debug, but it is in the interest of everybody, I'll move forward.
Okay.
So internet gateway. So BOC IGW, okay, and create. So it is showing detached. Now select that and create attach to VPC and attach the VPC which you created. You see here VOC VPC I created, okay, and just attach it. And now it is showing attached, okay. So now what we did is we, comparing to this picture, we created the internet gateway and we attached to the router. So now this is completed, the top one. We connected into internet for the gateway and we connected to the router, okay. Let's go back. Now let's create some subnets, okay, because, okay, here what we're going to do is go to picture, go back again. I want to create two subnets here. One is a private subnet, another is a public subnet. Okay, so let's do those two subnets quickly. Because we saw that we have a route table, right? We have a route table already. We have a NECL also. These are all, both are already created for us. We have created this one. We are going to just create these two subnets and connect them to different NACLs and security groups. So I'm here, create subnet, and I'll call it VOC private subnet. Okay, I gave something in name so that I understand it is what is. I want to make it private. That's, if you write, it does not become private. I'm just giving a name. Okay, and VPC, I want to select the one I created. Then availability zone. Okay, as I said, you see here there is 2A, 2B, 2C. Okay, so I only one here I'm doing, east to A. Okay, and then this, what is the CIDR for this? Remember, CIDR, given a bigger network, okay, 10.0.0./16. So inside that 10.0.1.0, because previously it was 0.0. Now I have to move left. So /24. Previously it was 16. Now I have to make a smaller network, but it should be 1.0. Okay. Previously it was 0.0. Now I make it create and close. Similarly, I make another one. I call VOC public subnet. And I make again in the same VOC, and I give in the same availability zone. Next session, I'll create multiple, okay? Two separate, in 2B also we'll see that. But today we are creating in the same availability zone. So here 10.0.2.0/24, because each subnet will have different IP address range. The range of IP addresses will be different. So that is previous on 1.0, this is 2.0. And I created it. So now both are created. If you see here, one is private, one public. But by default, remember one thing, whenever you create a new VPC and you create a new subnet, because you have attached to internet gateway to it, so by default, they all are public actually, by default. Okay, whenever you create a new VPC and you attach the internet gateway and you create a subnet inside the VPC, by default, they're public. Why public? I'll show you just now. If you see here route table, okay, we'll see that why it is public, okay? So now we create two subnets, and one is private named and another is public. Now, internet gateway attached. Now, let's go to the route table. Okay, in the route table, what is the subnet association? You see here, the route table, which is by default created by the VPC, when we create it, they are already attached to the subnet we just created. You see 1.0, 2.0. By default, they are already attached. And you see, this is the, here there is something called ES and it is written main. That means the VPC has a main route table always. Okay. So now, by default, the main route table is connected. We saw that here because by default, the main route table, which is this one, is always connected to internet gateway because it has to travel to the internet. So by default, the subnets, which are by default associated with this route table, are public. So which is a security concern. That means any subnet you create, you don't change the route table, they're by default public and anybody can access to them. So what you do is, I create a new route table first, for me only. I do not use the main one which is public. Let the public subnet only be public, but I want a private network. So I call it my route table or DOC, I call DOC private route. Okay, private route, and I attached to the same VPC and create. So now, but by default, if you see this one, there is no subnet associated with them. Okay, so what I do is, first what I'll do is edit the subnet association. I attach my private to here. Attach my private. So now my private subnet, it starts with the route table which I created. Whereas if you see this one, okay, this is public, right? This was the main. This is the main, and this one edit association. And because, okay, my main route table is whatever I had. Because this is, I created both. Actually, I am talking in terms of your network. In my network, it's a bit different because I have deleted my main VPC. So here both are private, by the way. So because it was not attached. If you see here, okay, the following subnets have not been explicitly associated because I created from the beginning everything, nothing was actually by default connected. But if you are creating in your network, by default they will be public. So this is my main and I want to make it public. So now what I did is, just for your information, I had this main route table. This one I had already when I created my VPC, this was already created. Now I created another and I attached my private subnet to this, and route table, anything by the way you create, it will be, because this route table is not connected to internet gateway. And let me give another thing I have to do. Another thing is the public route table. Is it connected to internet? No. If you see here, the public, which is the main, yes. Is it connected to internet? It is, you see, local, target is local. So you have to actually add a route to public, and that public is denoted by 0.0.0.0/0. And this one should be connected to the internet gateway, which is the one I created, VOCIGW. If you see here, this one, and save the route. So now what I did, going back, my route table, one is connected to internet gateway, the one just now I did, and this one I created, but it is not connected, if you see, to the internet gateway. My route table here, the private one, this is private. I'll call it private. And this one is the public. based on my association. So this one, I just, you see, I added a route 0.0, I added to the internet gateway. But this one, if you see, the route is internal, which is local. That means actually this is only internal. This is not, maybe I made it wrongly. So here, actually, it is this way only, up to here. Maybe I have to change it. So so okay. So actually this is connected here only. It is not connected to, it is just connected between these two. It is not connected to the internet gateway. So this becomes private. It can only talk between these two subnets, whereas the traffic from this network cannot go to internet. That means this became private. So you have given access to the public subnet only, whereas this becomes private. That is what my intention is. Because so what is the use of it is, any database, now normally, I don't want anybody should access my database directly. Rather, they should be accessed through the application only. That means any web server normally, what is the application again? Any web server normally put into the public subnet, and the database servers are put into the private subnet. That means only the application which is running here in the public web server that can have access to the database through this way. Whereas anybody is coming from the public, they cannot reach to the database directly. That's what I need it to be private. And it's a security risk if I put my database into a public subnet, because people can access directly to this, which is, and they can change my database, which is not a good practice. So that's why we need private and private and public subnets both. Okay. So with that, I created the network now. Now let's see the demo, how we can access it. Now let me create an EC2 instance and put that one each. I'll put one instance in the public subnet, another instance in the private subnet, and let's see if we can access them, how we can access them. Okay. Launch the instance. Okay, one more thing I just want to tell here before moving. Let's check if we have a given the public one, subnet, public subnet. Can I have a IP address given to automatic? Okay, auto assign of public IP for the instances. Auto assign is no. If you see here, auto assign of IPv6, auto assign of this one, auto assign it. Why it is going? It is actually no. Public IPv4 no. Okay, that means anything I run, I launch any instance into any of this subnet, it will not have a public IP. So I have to change it actually. The public one, I want it should have a public IP address. So select the BIOS, the public subnet which you created, and change it, modify auto assign IP settings. Now select that and click auto assign IPv4 enable. That means enable auto assignment and save it. So now if you see here, auto assign of IPv4, this one yes, and this one is no. The private is no. Okay. So now going back, EC2, let me launch an instance into my public subnet. So same thing I'll do quickly. And now one instance, and now I am running to BOC VPC, and it is a private. No, I don't want that. I want it in the public. and auto assign, which is, it is by default enabled because my subnet, I just enabled it. So, and every other thing, just I keep it as it is. 8 add tag. I don't want to select existing security group, the default one, and default, if you see, all are opened, so that's fine. And launch, and do I have it? This one I have, and hopefully I have it. Launch. Okay, let's see if I can access them. So because it's getting recorded, and sometimes I put public, my folders become public. So I don't want to show it. No, I think I don't have it, so I have to access them. Cloud. Yep, copy. Okay, so let me get my IP, public IP. This one is my public IP, copy it. I do SSH -I, my PEM file, and this is EC2 user @ where it's not going, is it? Possibly 22 port I have not opened. That I think we missed it. So security, go to security groups and default. This is default, open the security group. All ports are open, but still it should be outbound port, all traffic. I don't know what it is, edit outbound rules. SSH. Share rule. Okay. So here, VPC, it got the IP address. So it is connected to network. It's running. It got IP address. This is security group is default view inbound rules. 422 is opened. Okay. And go to VPC. Subnets. Public subnet. Root table. Yes. Created. Internet gateway. Attached. Security group. Okay. still not reaching. So somewhere it is not reaching from me. My network, it is not getting, because we created. If everything is correct, it should reach public 250 route table account. Okay, while doing this, are you guys are doing it? Let me see if anything, any problem. You guys, while talking, I can fix it, and another, I can also fix yours. Anybody has got anything? It's got the IP address, and it should be. Without that, you should not have got the IP address also. So let me delete it. Let's create possibly a launch instance. C2 BOC VPC. This is private. This is public. Enabled. And the storage. Okay. Create a group. Public is 741 route table, and I assigned subnet is this one. Route. Okay. Okay. We got it. So I didn't have the outgoing 22 port. So here we saw that, let me show you. I'll go to the instances, and here, this is running, and this is the IP address. And for how to log in, just SSH-I and the PEM file and EC2 EC2 user IP address. And what is it? My network problem? Maybe. Okay. So maybe it's my network problem also. Previously also did the same thing. So sometimes there is some problem with my network, hopefully. Okay. So this is now connected. So I didn't do anything, but just added, actually previously it was all the traffic was allowed, but I don't know why it was not doing. And now explicitly added 22 port to the security group. So here I added by default, you added inbound, and as outbound also I added, which is, by the way, just I wanted to tell that this is no need, because once the inbound rule is, if I believe this should still do, because this is not necessary. Security group is actually stateful. That means if I allow inbound, by default it is allowed outbound. So let me see now. Still, I should be able to do it by the way. Like previously, I believe it was my network. Yep, you see here, my network was some way. My home network was wrong; it was not connecting. But you see here, same thing. I didn't do anything actually. Other outbound rule, nothing is there. All traffic allowed. Outbound traffic, actually all allowed. This I explicitly okay. Here, all traffic allowed from the security group. Okay, this is necessary because I allow from everything, everywhere, 0.0.0. Okay, so this is allowed. So we created now, if we go back, what we did now, we created one instance here. So this is what it is now, one instance here. This traffic is going this way, right?
We created in the public subnet, right?
Okay, so here, we created here, sorry, okay, you are right. So this is private, this is public. So traffic went from here, this is, I'm internet. That means I'm actually sitting here somewhere. So this is my home. I'm connecting to internet. Connect that internet through internet. I'm connecting to internet gateway. That is through the router and route table, NAC call, security group, and finally I'm reaching my instance. Okay. So a normal question is, what is the first defense in your whole environment? So remember, NACL is the first layer of defense. Security group is the second layer of defense. That means you can consider this NACL is nothing but a firewall. This is the second firewall. And inside the VM itself, you can have another firewall, that is the OS firewall. That means that the three state of defense is there. You can change your NACL to block some of the ports. You can security group, you can block. And in the VM itself, you can open a firewall also. You can run a firewall. So three layer of defense you have always by default in your network. Okay, this is a normal interview question or sometimes exam question also. Okay, how the security is maintained inside. So these are the 3 layers of defense by default you will have. Okay, so now let's see if you go back to the VPCs. What is the NACL? This is one layer of first layer of defense. Remember, both has NACL and security group. Both NACL and the security group, NACL and the security group, both are firewalls, but there is a difference. NACL is a stateless firewall, whereas security group is a stateful firewall. What is stateful and stateless? Difference means if you allow in a stateful firewall, it maintains the state. That means if you allow a port for incoming, by default, it remembers that port is allowed so that outgoing traffic is also allowed in the security group. Whereas NACL, both the way explicitly you have to allow. If you are allowing incoming, does not necessarily mean that outgoing port is also allowed. That means outgoing traffic on the same port may be blocked. That means you can explicitly allow incoming and outgoing both separately. Whereas in security group, if you're allowing incoming, by default, outgoing is also allowed in the same port. That is the only difference. It is a typical interview question also. What is the difference between NACL and the security group? This is the answer. Both, one is stateless, another is stateful. Okay. So same thing, if you see here, just to show the same thing what I just said, NACL, in inbound rule and outbound rule, you have to specifically say that here, by the way, all are allowed, but this is actually in a normal sense because we are just created. In an enterprise scenario, it will not be. Particular port will be allowed only. You can change it and allow same thing, the port number and all. You can just give the number of the rule and which port, what exactly, TCP port, which port range you have to allow. And you see here, allow and deny. So you can allow and you can deny also. Whereas NACL, there is an option to deny a port. But if you go to security group, there is only allow. There is nothing called deny. You see here, if I allow, there is nothing, I don't have any option to deny, right? So, but that means if I am allowing it 22 port here, I am explicitly allowing it also to outgoing also. Outgoing, I cannot deny. Whereas in the NACL, incoming, if I allow something, maybe I'll allow maybe 200 and some TCP rule and port 22, and I allow it maybe safe. And in the outgoing, I can say that allow rule, same 200 and port 22, and I denied. That means I just allow incoming. This is not a good use case I just gave because 22, both incoming as well as outgoing has to be there. Okay, otherwise it won't. If I do this, I cannot put actually, I cannot SSH because it will be outgoing traffic will be blocked. Okay, so this is not a good use case which I gave, but this is the way you can, if you see by default, all traffic are allowed actually. Okay, in the NACL. And there is a star here in NACL if you find both incoming and outgoing, inbound and outbound. What is the star meaning is the star. That means if, okay, NACL always executes the rule which is the lowest one. That means this is 100. If any rule is lower than 100, that will be honored. So here the lowest one is 100. So that will be honored first. And star means if nothing is encountered, that means there is no rule is defined, then star rule will be allowed. And nothing, that means if I remove this, every traffic will be denied. So that means NACL, by default, everything is denied, whereas security group, by default, everything is allowed. If I remove this simple, this one, if I delete, no traffic will be actually allowed. Okay, that is the basic difference between the two firewalls. One is by default, everything is allowed. Another is everything is denied. Okay, so that's one. Let's go back to our instance. Let's create another instance in this private subnet now. So I create another, and same VPC, and I create in the private now. Okay, and there will be obviously, you see here, auto assign is disabled, so it will not have any IP address public. So if you don't have any public address, though it is 22 port, I am allowing it. You see here, though I'll allow the same security group to be associated, but still I'll not be able to reach it because it will not have any public IP. Sorry, it will not have any public IP assigned. That's why, and there is no route also. There is no route table assigned to it. There is no public route table assigned to it. There is no internet gateway assigned to it, to the subnet which is running. So obviously this cannot be reached directly from my laptop. If you see here, once it comes up, it will not have any IP address. So then if it does not have any IP address, how to reach it? How to use it? This is the question, right? So let's see how to access it. Though it is not accessible from my system directly, but it is accessible. If you see here, as I said previously, it is accessible from this network. By default, all the networks are accessible to each other. So what I have to do is, first I have to connect to the public server or the public instance. From there, I have to log into the private instance indirectly. So now what I have to do first, because I already have my public IP address for this one, 112, which let me connect. It is already connected. I am already connected. So remember, each instance also has an internal IP address. If you see here, because this is running in my 2 subnet, which I created, 10.0.2.0 subnet. So it has got an IP address related to that subnet with respect to that 10.0.2.180. So this, the internal IP address is 180. And what is the internal IP address of the internet, the instance which I just created? Okay, so for our understanding, actually you can name it. So because this got a public, so let me change public. I check, and I, for my understanding, this is private. I named it. Okay. So now, okay, sorry, this one is, I already deleted. Why do I do it? This is public. Okay, so this is public and this is private. So it has got a private, though it does not have a public IP, but it has got a private IP. So let me see if I can reach from this here. I can reach here. It is pinging, right? From the instance which is I connected. Now how to log in? I need I cannot, I don't have a password. I cannot do SSH. I need the PEM file, right? Key file. So how to get it? I don't have it. So what I'll do is I can recreate it here. Just do VI, or you can open a text file or whatever. I call it like pnayak keypair.pem. I just created it. What I'll do is I'll open my, again, another cell, and here I have mine. This is my local. So here again I copy it. Actually, I again And what I do is exactly copy. I'll do exact from top beginning to end. I copy it, and in the V editor here, which is I paste it here. Okay. Now I have, and I change the permission chmod 400. This one. Now I have the PEM file. I just copied exactly the same. That means now my public system or my public instance, I have got the PEM file also. Now I can do SSH -i Vinayak PEM and EC2 EC2 user the private IP. Okay, the private IP is this one. So I copy this 10.0.1.253. 10.0.1.253. Okay, you see this? So, and I got this one. Okay, this is, I got logged into other system. So now if I exit, previously here, if you see, if config -a, it is the 2 network, right? 10.0.2.180. Now I am in the other network. So here, if config -a, I am in the 10.0.1 network. You see, both are different. This is the network in previous levels. Now I am in 10.0.253 network. So now I could log in both the system. Now I have logged into the internal system, the private network. Now I can do whatever I want here. I can install my database here once and I can open another, in fact. So I can go back to my other one, and here I can again log in to my SSH -i EC2 user and the public IP. This is the public and this is the IP. Now this is the both. So this page I am in, this is the public one and this is the private one. Both now I have both access. So this is the way I have to go, because this is, I cannot access directly. I know I went fast because I had to, but I know many of you might not have understood properly, which is actually fine, because it will not be clear in one go. I know that, but I'm here still. So like, as we go on talking one after next, slowly it will come to, and you have to really go through once or twice or thrice. Sometimes you have to go and understand the concepts to make it really right. Okay, but I don't be panic if you are not able to do it. That's fine. Actually, even if I could not do it when I started, that's perfectly fine. So don't get panic if you can.
I got a couple of questions. If you can go back to your diagram.
I need to draw. Okay, somebody. Okay, diagram. Okay.
In the diagram, I think we created the route table, we created the public subnet, we created the VPC. I think security group was there before, right? And also the network ACL automatically get created. We don't need to create that.
Did you join a bit later?
No.
I said it already when I created the VPC. You maybe missed it. That when we create the VPC first, I think I said it. This is what we get by default. Did it?
Yeah, I think I missed it. Okay.
So that when we create a VPC, we get the router, we get the route table, we get ECL, we get the NECL, and we get the security group. All are created for us.
Okay. And initially, we have to do this one for each region?
Yes, this is a one-time effort, by the way. Okay, once you created your VPC, you don't create again and again. Once you created, that's all actually for the years to come. And that's why you have to really design your network previously to get into the VPC thing. You have to design what network you need, what private IP you need, what are how many private subnets you need, what public subnets you need. Once you design, it is one-time effort. And once you create, that's all. Once your system is running, you're in a production, you're in dev environment, pre-prod environment, test environment. Once you create, it's one-time effort and you are done. Because you cannot change it. Once you create and your instances are created, you cannot change them, right?
Well, initially, we selected the region on the top, right? But if we want to create like a network, like for, let's consider for America and Canada, right? We have to create like a two separate one.
Two separate regions, and it is both separate regions, okay? Two separate VPCs. So inter VPCs you have to, again, there is another way, it is global network. Like globally, you have to connect them. Okay, there is a different, like here, two separate regions you want to connect, right? So that is another concept altogether. So
Okay.
we'll talk like how to connect to two separate regions. Okay, there is something called here, again, depends on what kind of need you have. So there is a service here called, okay, the networking, right? Route 53, okay? This is the DNS concept, how DNS route, if you're like servers and two different regions, how you're, because many companies, they have their VPCs in different regions of the world, different countries, right?
Right.
So different users, how they reach them and how they have like sync between them. So that is through this Amazon Route 53, it is a DNS. And there is another also for content delivery network, CDN, right? So this is, there are cloud front again, it is there. So these are all slowly will come one by one, okay? So we'll come back to how the Route 53 works, how the cloud works, when we will go more complex architecture.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Panchaleshwar.
Sorry, Panch.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Dilip.
Thank you. Hey, Panchaleshwar, I have a quick question, okay? Maybe it's just a fundamental question. Okay, so AWS is public cloud, right? So for that, we created a VPC network to have a private network, okay? But I saw that when you are creating a VPC, there is a tenancy option, okay? That means we are sharing, right? Then what is the difference here between private cloud and this tenancy?
Tenancy is hardware is shared, okay? That means you are sharing the hardware, but not the
network.
Virtual network you are not sharing. It is totally logical network to assign to you only. Nobody else sharing that network space.
Okay, when we say dedicated in Tennessee, then that means AWS will be providing a hardware?
Hardware to you. That means it costs huge. That's why I said don't do that.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Dedicated, that means it will be dedicated to you.
Okay, got it.
You can share the space.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
sorry, Panch. At the end, like as you said, Arvind here, as you said, like I did not able to get like how to access that private one.
No.
And also, also you copied the pen file for the private one, the security key. Where you generate that one, I was not able to get.
Okay, I'll repeat it because I was fast. I didn't expect you to understand also because I was fast. Good question anyway. So listen, so when I created a PEM file, like when we normally launch an instance, right? I'll go back, EC2. When I launch an instance, I have the option, right? Always to create a new one or use the existing one, right? So
yeah.
So I'll go quickly. I'll not launch the instance, but I'll try to show you exactly.
Do you want to share the screen, please?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not sharing. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You see here, I'm here, right? Choose your existing or existing.
Yeah.
Okay. This
Okay.
is ICR, which I already have, right?
Yeah.
I just copied actually, right? Because this is a normally you have, otherwise you can always create a new key pair, right? This is for pair for every instance to be accessed. You can access this with this key pair any instance you create. Okay. Now, and this key pair is again your region specific. You see here, I am in the Ohio region, and my key pair is like if you saw here, I have a key pair which is 2 key pairs available, DOC KP2 and PNAC KP, right? This is region specific. Suppose I change to Virginia region, I'll have this copy, these pins actually, there's a key pair will not be available to me in that region. You just trying to show you here quickly. You have to create new key pair. You see here, it's both all are different here, right? So here either you have to existing one in each region you can have separate key pair. So once you have it, your question now I'm answering. Once you understood this, that you need a key pair to access your instance, right? And that should be available to you locally. Now with this is my local system, okay? And I have see here, this is available to me locally in my laptop. I have this key pair .pem file is available to me, right? So I could log in with this key pair. I could log into my public instance, which is publicly accessible, which is this particular any instance in this subnet I can access through the key which I have, right? Now, once I logged in here, now I will go back in this. So now here I am in the now logged into my public instance. If config and I say, if you see here, I am in the public instance, right? Up to here, are you clear?
Yes.
Now, if I have to log in to the private instance, which is in the other network, right? Now I'll go back to my region, which is running. Now, if you see here, my private instance is this one, and there is no IP address assigned to it.
Yes.
It's private, but I have the private IP, right? So now, because I am already in, on the cloud, that means I have already logged into one instance which is on the cloud and in this subnet. That means I am here now. I am here. You understood? Now, if I have to access an instance here, I'll go back here. Now, this instance which I have, now if I have to access this instance which is in the private subnet, I have to have the IP address of this, and that is just to ping or just to access. But how to log in? To log in, I need the key pair, right? And where I'll get the key pair? And it's not available in the instance. It's a fresh instance. If you see here, I created it actually. If you see, this was not there, right? So what I did is, let me delete it, RM. So now it is gone. So now there is no IP. This is a fresh instance, right? Nothing is there. So what I did is I created one manually. You can give anything simple. You can write my KP, my key pair. Okay. You can write anything actually. .pem. Okay. This is what I'm creating in the public instance. Now, what I do is the one, because I cannot directly copy it, because either I can actually do something like this. No, actually no way I can do it because it is not accessible directly from my system, right? So I don't have any other way than creating it manually there. So I did a VI editor, and this is the key. It's because key file is nothing but a simple text file, okay? Just copy this text, whole text, copy it, and paste it here to the file which you just created. Okay, and save it and change the permission to 400. That's all. Now I got the key pair actually. So now SSH NSI, the one which I created, my key pair, and EC2 user, and the private IP address, which is 253. Okay, so now I got logged in. It allowed me to log in because now I have the IP, I have the key pair, and I logged in. So in
where is this my key pair is stored now? Where it is available now?
It is not locally, rather it is in this system. In this system, it is stored.
Okay.
Okay. Because without the key pair, I cannot log into any instance. Okay. That's why it is actually the practice to make it secured. So that's why it is called anybody can tell what this instance normally called. We have actually, this concept is called a Bastion host actually. Normally, I don't want to give anybody direct access. I want to remove this IP address also. Like in the public, I don't want this should be, because I don't want to give any direct access to the public. So through one instance, I want to always indirectly, I have to go to my publicly available systems rather than giving a publicly available IP address. So that concept is called Bastion host. But the Bastion host is a security host through which all my SSH, all my logins should go through. And Bastion host is all the securities applied to the Bastion host. That means if somebody entered my Bastion host, it is completely screwed, like your network is gone. So Bastion host is actually very secured instance where people apply all the security concepts to it so that it cannot be breached. And all other instances are totally publicly inaccessible. Like a gate, Bastion is just we create a gate through which you have to go. And this is the concept just I demonstrated through how I enter to the private IP through a public IP.
Thank you.
Anybody else? So this will be anyway recorded. It is recording. So you can follow it through again to create your network. And we can discuss next time once if you face any difficulties. Okay.
Yeah, before coming to the next session, right, Pancha, if you can upload this video quickly so that we will practice.
Yeah, it will be available on the same YouTube channel.
Yeah. If you will upload it quickly, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so it is time now, and if next time if you are please asking a question, open your videos so that I can see actually who is asking. Still, I don't know a lot of you who is actually. Okay. Let's make it conversational. I need to know. It will be interesting to know my face because though it is virtual.
You know that all saloons are closed, right?
That does not matter.
So can I have a quick suggestion here? Rather than in Zoom, can we move on to some different platform? Because Zoom being not that secure, what is being heard, and I'm
well, I see this is no way we are not concerned about security anyway, right? Like I am opening my access lot of things. So
no, actually, I'm accessing my personal MacBook is now not working because of some hardware issue, and I'm accessing from my office laptop.
okay.
So I'm a bit reluctant to log in Zoom. So that's why I'm accessing from mobile or tablet.
I don't have any other accessibility, like I have this one now, and this is my paid subscription.
Google, okay.
This is my paid subscription, and in fact, I am paying to teach.
Oh, I see.
So that's but I will see if, and I'm thinking of my Google if I can use that, but that will not be two-way communication will be difficult because
I
Google
believe Facebook Messenger is coming up.
let's see how it is useful. Then
no, I will tell you, because when we had a Kafka learning from Vijay last month, I believe we did a trial run for one of the Google software. Let me put that in the WhatsApp group, and we can give it a try if that works.
So now I would like to put my own I don't want to take anybody's network again or service, which that's my kind of, also I want to put that way. Okay, so let's see if I'll feel comfortable and I'll feel it is useful, then definitely we'll shift to that. But for as long as that is not available, we'll stick to this one, Zoom. Okay. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Yep. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.